Hello, I'm DeDe. For the next 30 minutes, we will enjoy some strengthening as well as balance and flexibility exercises, which can help us have better coordination and overall mobility. We'll be standing briefly at times, during which you can choose to remain seated if you would rather. So when we get to the standing part, feel free to remain seated. Here's what you'll need: a sturdy chair, some athletic shoes, and plenty of room around you so you can move your arms and legs. Also, some water for hydration. Put that water underneath your chair. Remember, always move at your own pace. That's important. So let's start out sitting. You're not leaning against the back of the chair, you're sitting forward. Make sure you can see me clearly. Make sure if you reach your arms and legs out that you're not going to encounter anything from where you're seated. Now bring your feet in line with your hip joints. Your knees are over your ankles. Your thighs are even and straight, and you're not turning your toes out or in. They're straight ahead as well. Engage your abdominal and your back muscles all the way around to give you support and stability. Sit up tall so your ears are over your shoulders and your shoulders are over your hips. Now we'll roll one shoulder up and back and down, and the other shoulder up and back and down. Do it again. Make sure you let the shoulder go at the end of that motion. Up and around and let it go. Now let's roll both shoulders. Up and back and down. Go again. So we're breathing in and out. We're not holding our breath at any point. All right, now let's circle one ankle around, leave the toes on the ground, and then the other ankle around. One and the other. So we're going clockwise and counterclockwise. It doesn't matter which one is doing which direction. Now brace through your middle. Let's try both feet at the same time, holding on to the chair if you need to. Can you feel what's happening in your middle? You should feel braced. Let's go the other way. Up and around. Up and around. Warming up through the ankles and the calves. Now up and down on your tiptoes, both feet. Up and down. Up and down. Let's do a couple more. Show me your palms and then show me the backs of your hands. Let's do 4 more of these. 4, 3, 2. All right, now we'll roll one elbow back, followed by the other. Now I want you to get a little lean going, so you'll lean into it and lean into it. So now we're going to start to use our balance just a little bit. It's not easy to train balance from a sitting position, but it's possible. We're doing it a little bit here. Hi, Prissy. That's my cat, Prissy. She loves to be on camera, much more than I do. Now let's try both elbows at the same time. Inhale, pull them down, and exhale. Go again. Two more. What are you doing under there? One more time. All right, now we'll tap one heel out. Let's go right and left. Make sure you're sitting at a place on the chair where when you do this, you're not feeling discomfort in the back of your leg from the edge of the chair. If your chair has padding, it's probably a little more comfortable. Now you can release the chair if you're comfortable doing that, and then we'll bring the opposite arm forward. So we're warming up. What are you doing? You should start to feel your body getting a little bit warmer. Literally, the temperature is coming up inside your body. And hand in hand with that goes your heart rate going up a little bit, and your respiration or your breathing rate going up a little bit. One and two. Let's do 4 more. 4, 3. All right, hold the chair. Let's extend one leg. Let's go right and left. Now, you don't need to straighten your knees all the way out. You just go as straight as you can. And notice, are your shoulders bunching up around your ears? Pull them down. Now, if you don't need to hold on to the chair, then I offer you this option. Reach both arms. Reach. So we're lifting from the shoulder joints. Arms are straight the whole time. Up and down. All right, let's stop. Now tap your toes. Right, left, right, left. Now let's treat that like a march. So marching arms. Tap, 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 tap. So can you feel what's happening in your lower leg? Can you feel the top of your foot, the front of your ankle, and your shin? They're working right now. Some of the muscles there are working to lift your toes, to lift, 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 lift your toes. 8 more. 7. 4 and 3 and 2. Now your toes are down. Take your arms out. Inhale and exhale and twist. Look over your shoulder and then inhale, exhale and twist. Keep your legs strong and stable. Don't let them move because we're grabbing them and we're using them for leverage to turn. So keep them steady. Exhale. Inhale. Last 2. And 1 more. Now the next move starts the same, but it's a side bend. So start the same. Inhale. 1 hand on the chair. Exhale, lean over. Go the other way. Inhale. Exhale, lean. Go again. Four more. Now, if your arm can go straighter at the top, let it go straighter. Otherwise, keep it bent. And if your body will let you go a little further, then bend your supporting elbow so you can go a little bit further. Now we're going to separate our feet and we'll lift the opposite foot. So as we lean to the right, we lift the left foot up. And then we switch. Both feet down, lift the right foot up. Let's keep going with this. So now we're challenging our balance because we only have 1 foot on the floor. And we're leaning. You feel the challenge? You're keeping both hips on the chair, but you're leaning some of your upper body weight over. All right, cross your arms across your chest now. Inhale, it's almost the same. Exhale, lean and lift your foot. If that's too much, don't lift your foot, and that would just look like this. It's still a challenge, isn't it? But if you can, lift your opposite foot. All right, let's come center. Roll your shoulders. We're going to separate the feet wider. Turn to the side. We're at the front edge of our chair. Your knees are both at 90 degrees, ear over shoulder, shoulder over hip. Now we rock the pelvis forward and back. Feel that right in here, in your hip flexors. Forward and back. All right, let's turn to the other side. Take your time. Turn around. Front edge of the chair, sit up straight and tall, 90-90. Rock the pelvis now, forward and back. All right, then we'll turn back to the front. You can't sit with me right now, Prissy. I'm sorry. All right, roll your shoulders back and down. Now let's do an actual march, right and left. Right, left, right, left. Pump your arms. Lift your foot as high as you can. Keep your feet flexed. So don't let your foot drop. Keep it flexed. 1, 2, 1, 2. So as we start to work harder, there's a greater demand for oxygen exchange. So that's one reason why we start to breathe more rapidly, because we have a greater need because of our exercising muscles. Now we march for 3 and tap the foot. 1, 2, 3, tap. 1, 2, 3, tap. So the foot you tap with is the foot that you march with. Tap right and march, 2, 3, tap left and march, 2, 3. Now instead of tapping right under your knee, let's try tapping out. 1, 2, 3, tap out. 1, 2, 3. You got it. Now let's try reaching our arms in the opposite direction. Out. Out. If you need to hold on with one hand, you can. That's the hand opposite the tapping foot. But if you can, reach with both arms. Challenge your balance. 2, 3, tap. Can we add more reaches? Can we reach and then reach and then reach? If this is too much reaching, then pare it down to what we were doing, which is just reaching to the side only. How are you doing? You should be feeling nice and warm now. I know I do. See if you can reach out a little further with your foot and with your arms, or single arm if that's what you're doing. Remember, that's your option, just one arm. Now, no arms, just march, 2, 3, tap out. Now, instead of tapping out, let's tap forward with the heel. 1, 2, 3, tap forward. Take your hands here, reach. So it's kind of a 45-degree diagonal upward from your shoulder joint. See how that feels. When you bring your arms up, especially up overhead, that will automatically lift your heart rate a little bit. So if your heart rate feels like it's getting a little too high, if you feel a little too tired, a little too breathless, then you won't lift your arms up. You could go straight ahead, for example. Otherwise, you're raising your arms. Can you go straighter? It's okay if you can't. You do what you can. All right, let's give the arms a little rest now. Keep the legs. 1, 2, 3. Now, instead of tapping the heel forward, let's extend the leg. 1, 2, 3, leg. How about opposite arm? Punch. Punch. Good, that driving forward with your fist. Feel that. Punch. Punch. Now a little bit of brain fitness if you can. We got 2 arms, opposite arm. 2 arms, opposite arm. If that's too much brain fitness, just stick with what we were doing. 1, 2, 3, punch, both arms, 1 arm. Feel the balance happening as you go across your body. There's some balance happening. As you reach both arms forward, there's some balance happening. Now take away the arms completely. 1, 2, 3. Instead of a kick, plant your toe in front. 1, 2, 3, plant. Now instead of planting your toe straight ahead, go a little bit diagonal. Toe. 1, 2, 3. Toe. How about same side arm swivels out? Swivel. Out. 1, 2, 3. Now you probably know what's coming. We're going to try both arms and then same side. 2, 3, out. One, 2, 3, out. Point your toe every time. Feel the stretch through the top of the foot, the front of the ankle, and maybe even into your shin. Some of those muscles that we were strengthening earlier when we were tapping our toes. Let's do 4 more. That's 4. 3. Are you still sitting up tall? 2. Now just a march, no tapping. Let your arms come down. All right, we're getting ready to do that optional standing. So if you don't want to stand up with me, then you can just sit in the chair and drive your feet into the ground. When I stand, you drive your feet down. You can even hold the edges of your chair so you can really drive your feet down. Here's what we're doing. Feet in line with the hip joints. Make sure that they are not too close to you and not too far away. Hands on the chair at first. We're going to go from sit to stand. Here we go. Stand up, 2, 3, 4, sit down. 7, 8, up. Now, if you feel like you're safe, you're comfortable, and you're good, don't put your hands on the chair. So this is where you really want to be sure that you're the right distance from the chair with your feet and your hips, and that your chair isn't moving. Obviously, that would be not good. Your chair is there every time, right? You can even look, if you need to look, just to make sure. You feel the work happening in your core and your lower body. So now let's add this, tiptoes. You can do the tiptoes even if you're sitting. Up, up, down, down. Up, up, down, down. One more. All right, let's go back to marching. Right and left. Right, left. So how did you do with that? If you enjoyed that, you felt good, you felt safe and comfortable, maybe a little bit challenged, then you'll enjoy what we're about to do next. Remember the option to stay seated. So what we're going to do next is exactly the same thing, but you have your right foot a little bit forward than your left foot, a little bit further forward. So we stand up and we sit down. So what we're doing here, by staggering the feet, is we're making the leg that's closer to you, the foot that's closer to you is the left. We're making that left leg work harder. You can still touch the chair with your hands if you need to. Now I'm going to ask you to stand all the way up each time, all the way up and down. Up and down. How about 2 more? I feel like I want to keep looking. You might want to feel that way too. Keep looking if you need to. Now stop, march, right, left. Okay, let's stagger with our feet the other way. Left foot further forward, hands on the chair, stand up, sit down. Stand up, strong core all the way around, sit down. Now if you don't need your hands, then you'll have your arms out in front. This is a very practical exercise because throughout our day we sit down and then we have to stand back up at some point, right? And it's nice to be able to do it with confidence, safely, without assistance if possible. One more. All right, we're down and we march. Feet are even, right, left. How are you feeling? Are you ready to take a little water break? That's what we're going to do next. So just make it heel presses. Press, press, press. Let your arms hang down. Four more. 4, 3, 2. All right, separate your legs. Put one hand on your leg and grab your water. I'm going to take some water with you. It's so important that we stay hydrated. All right, roll the shoulders. If you're sweaty, dry yourself off. Remember, every time we breathe, every drop of sweat, every contraction of our muscles draws in fluid or gets rid of fluid. So we need to keep replenishing the fluid so we don't get dehydrated. Symptoms of dehydration are symptoms that mimic a lot of other things too. Sometimes you can fix it just by having a drink of water. So make sure you do that. All right, we're going to start doing some stretching now. So we'll start back with our feet apart. 90-90 with our knees, but this time, because we're much warmer now, we're going to wiggle our back foot back. Make sure your hip that's closest to me is dropping down. And then we'll take our arm, the one that's closest to me, take that one out. Stay here. So just to be sure, you're still sitting on the chair with half of your pelvis. The other half is kind of off the front of the chair. Feel free to keep holding on to the chair. Your elbows bent and you're drawing your arm back. Or if you're comfortable doing it, you can take your arm up straighter. See how it feels. Looking up, it's okay as long as it's comfortable for your neck. Just make sure that you start with your ears back. And then you look just slightly up is fine. Now, before we change sides, let's release the arm down. You're going to take both feet over to this side. You're still sitting close to the front edge of the chair, knees together, ankles together, and then we twist and we look back toward the back of the chair. Make sure you keep breathing. Make sure you're still lifting up through the crown of your head. Shoulders relax down away from the ears. All right, let's come back to center. Now, as you pass through the center, open the feet out a little wider, and we'll start with this lunge. Hold on to the chair as much as you need to. Upright posture, and then wiggle your back foot back until you feel a suitable stretch in the front of your hip. Now, the arm, the one that's closest to me, is out, and it can even be up. Did you know that you can raise your arm without elevating your shoulder? It's just a matter of pulling your shoulder blade down into your back. See if you can feel that happening. And see if that feels more comfortable for your shoulder, your neck, your upper back. Our hip muscles, especially in the front of our hip here, worked hard during this session. So we have to stretch them out and show them some love. All right, both feet come over here. You're still sitting up tall. You're still at the front edge of the chair, shoulders relaxed. Let's turn. Look toward the back of the chair, ankles together, knees together. And breathe. All right, let's come around to the front. And speaking of stretching out our hips, this is one of my favorite all-time stretches. Cross your right ankle over your left ankle, or your right knee over your left knee, or if you can, your right ankle over your left knee. This is the figure 4 stretch, like the numeral 4. Flex your foot, lengthen your torso, and then tip forward. Now, if you're doing this variation that I'm showing here, make sure this shin is a plumb line straight down to the ankle. Now, feel the difference between leaning your head forward and leaning your torso forward. Much more powerful stretch in your hip. All right, let's come up and we'll switch. Both feet down, ankle over ankle, knee over knee, or ankle over knee. Flex your foot if you're doing this variation. See if you can encourage your knee to drop down a little bit more if you're doing this variation, and then shoulders away from ears as you tip forward. If you can, you can lean forward with your elbows on your leg. Otherwise, just bring your hands there. Oh, that stretch feels so nice on my hip. I hope you like it too. Let's sit up, both feet on the floor. Now you have to slide right to the front edge of your seat of your chair. Make sure your feet are forward though, because we don't want to tip forward. Now flex one foot, straighten the leg out on that side, and then hinge forward. Now if you can rest your forearm here on your thigh, and your hand goes down here on your shin. Now make sure that you pull your chin back so your neck is a long, neutral, straight line with the rest of your back. On your straight leg side, flex your foot so you get even more stretch. All right, and then we'll help ourselves up and we'll switch. And we'll hinge forward. Breathe in, breathe out. Stretching is so important. Try not to skip this part. Try to always stay and do the stretches. Your body will feel so much more comfortable tomorrow and the next day. Your joints won't feel as stiff. You'll have better mobility. It's really one of the best things you can do. All right, let's come up. Now you're still at the front edge of your chair. Reach around. Bring your arms up as high up the back of the chair as you can. Make sure your feet are forward. Open the chest. Squeeze the shoulder blades together behind. Feel what's happening right across here, across the collarbones, into the front of the shoulder. Draw your chin back. And then release that. Roll your shoulders back and down. So how did that feel? I hope you feel better, looser, maybe a little more confident. Thanks for being here with me, but more importantly, thank yourself for being here and treating yourself well. I'll see you next time.